All right, so I just turned them in here to the hay barn. Now, they're not going to really eat the hay because there's so much rich grass in here. They won't be in here for long. A day or two. But this is all grown up really tall, and I'm about to move them across the street over to my neighbor's place that I lease. I may as well turn them in here to eat this. It's going to save me some mowing, save me some weed eating. 43 right there, she's all about it. Yeah, I think she's gonna come back over here. You see them, they're rubbing on the hay bales there. They're just like itching on them. Yeah, like that one there. Oh, they love rubbing on them hay bales. They're gonna kind of tear those up a little bit. Price you pay. Look how excited all these calves are. I love it. There's 43. She came back around here to find all that tall grass. This right here was about twice as tall about 5 minutes ago. Maybe not even that long. Look at them go. I love it. Who needs a lawnmower when you got cows? I don't know if you can see that on camera, but I mean, their tongue's just as fast as they can put it in their mouth, they're eating it. This is why we're about to move them. The pasture they're on, it's pretty much run out. So, 14, I'm on our way. Get over here. But all through here, some happy cows, itching on the hay, eating on the grass. This is all just here in the hay barn. There's a bull. So we've got the truck set up over here. It's already at the loadout. And this weekend, everybody that you're looking at is going to get a ride. And we're going to go across the street. And the forge that we're about to put them on, it looks this good or better. Oh, easy, mama. Where's the calf? There she is right there. I got between them, so she was nervous about it. Had to come check on her. All right, everything's cool. Back to eating. All right. Anyway, see you folks when we go to move cows. All right, guys, we're dumping a little bit of diesel in the tractor here. We're about to go do some bush hogging, and it kind of breaks my heart, to be honest with you. I'll show you here in just a minute, but I'm actually going to be bush hogging the pasture across the creek before I ever put cows on it, and that's because they have a better place to go, which is across the street to my neighbor's house, or my neighbor's pasture. So different neighbor leases that pasture from her, and it just works out with her AI protocol, the neighbor that's leasing the pasture, that she needs her cows over here right now, but right now happens to be the perfect time to put cows over there on the pasture that she leases. That makes sense. So I'm going to sublease it from her. We're going to move the cows over there. Oh boy. Sublease it from her. I'm going to move the cows over there. So I'll show you here in a minute. I'll show you why it's, I don't know, it's kind of crazy that I'm going to go bush hog this pasture, but I'll explain that here in just a little bit. All right, yeah. I'll see you here in a minute. All right, so I'm over here across the creek. Sorry, I'm yelling at you. Over here across the creek, we're bush hogging, as you can see. I don't know if you can tell how high I have the bush hog set, but it's literally as high as it goes. And so it's gonna be hard to tell, I think, on camera, but this is what I'm leaving behind, which doesn't look real impressive. If you hired somebody to bush hog pasture and this is what they left, you'd be irritated. But I'm not actually trying to cut the grass. So if we look at this, if we get down here closer to it, you can see like all the actual blades, right? Blades of grass. I haven't touched those, or at least not very many of them. Can you see that? They're all still intact. What I'm doing is coming over the top and I'm cutting the seed heads off. Let me show you over here. So see this grass, the top of the seed head, here's a really tall one. It's way up here. But the actual leaves, right, the blades, they're way down in here. They're only about 6 to 8 inches tall. So all of this that you look at right now, it's all just the stems that have the seed heads on top of them, right? cattle don't really like this. They don't eat this very well. And most of these seeds, these not quite as much, but a lot of this grass seed is starting to become mature. And so the cattle just really won't eat them. This kind of got ahead of me. And even though right now this is still all excellent forage that I could definitely put the cows in, and they would love it, they'd be thrilled to be in here, I've got a better spot for them to go. And I'm gonna show you guys that probably next week. Or maybe this week, we'll see how it works out. But it has a similar height on it, right? If we look down, this waist height on me, right? To the top of the seed heads. But the pasture that I'm about to move them to, the rest of the grass is the same height. And so it's not just all these little stems and seeds. But it's actually, the entire plant is that tall, and it's thick. I mean, it's hard to walk through. It's like walking through water almost. So we're just coming in here, knocking the seeds off, and what that's going to do is it's going to promote the grass to grow again. It's going to get it to put down more roots. It's going to put on more foliage, and by the time the cows do get back in here, it's going to be excellent. So it'll be just this thick, just like this, except it'll be this tall, hopefully. So the other thing that's going to do, this is green briar right here. This isn't going to help with that at all. It actually might kind of make it worse a little bit. But see out here, I've got all these little trees growing out here like this guy. We're going to cut him off, and that's going to start putting a lot of pressure on them. And eventually, if I keep mowing them, they'll die. But anyway, there's a bunch of them out here. Now, if you don't know how bush hogs work, the way this is the cylinder that raises and lowers the bush hog, and you put spacers in here. These are just ones that fit, that left the least amount of space. So this is literally set as tall as I can get it. There's about a 1/4 inch more room in there when the cylinder's fully extended. What happens is, though, the cylinders leak internally just a little bit, and they'll slowly kind of let the bush hog down. And so you just put those spacers in there, that stops it. And yeah, so that's the plan. And soon enough, I'll show you guys that new pasture that we're about to go to. And it's the same one I went to last year, across the street at my neighbor's place. So it's, like I said, it's every bit this tall, but this is deceiving when you look out over it. That's, waist deep, but it's actually not. The actual good forage out there is only about 6 to 8 inches tall. So anyway, hopefully, since I have the opportunity to take them across the street to my neighbor's pasture and lease that from them, and then mow this, and which will also overseed with any of the seed in this grass that is mature. It's just going to spread it out, and that's how you seed the grass. Hopefully by the time the cows get back around to here, it's going to look like where they're going here in a day or two. So the reality is, that's just a bunch of scientific explanation for why I needed to clear my shooting range. I thought maybe you guys would be able to see this better, but it's still super hard to tell. I don't know. If you look at like an individual piece of grass, see how far you got to go down before you actually get to the foliage. I don't know. I think it's really hard to tell on camera probably, but you just have to trust me. This isn't as much grass as it looks like. Even though to look out over it, it looks beautiful. It's lacking a lot compared to where they're going. Number 43. I already fed you. It's over there. You got to go get it. Well, you got poop on your face. What'd you do that for? Who did that to you? All right, this is the first of the pastures that we're moving them to. You can see they're doing a fine job of eating it. But as you can see, there's a ton left in here. So it'll be a little bit hard to tell in here, but what I was trying to explain when I was bush hogging, here we can kind of see, is you can see where the seed heads are on this grass, but there's leaves all the way up to here, right? Blades of grass, the leaves. And that's, if I stand next to it, that's still knee high, and they've eaten about 6 inches off the top of that already. And they've only been in here for about 2 days, but here you can see here where the seed heads are at about this level, they've eaten that down 6 to 8 inches. But all of this is just good forage right here. And so at my place, we've got these same the same seed heads, except the grass is only about that tall. So I don't know, hopefully you can tell the difference, but it's quite a bit of difference. Now right in here, this was Johnson grass, They like that. They ate that down. No, this wasn't all. No, what was this? Hard to tell now. They've eaten it all down. I think this was some other thing. Most people consider it a weed, but the cattle love it. I forget what it's called. I'll tell you if I remember. We walk in here though. I mean, this is crazy. I don't know if you can tell. This is up to my shirt pocket. You see that? So it's not only taller, but it's thicker. So all of this, there's no just spindly seed heads sticking up. You know, as we look at it, and all this is trampled down just because they've walked on it. But I mean, all of this, you know, the leaves come all the way up here. So this pasture is like this. There's another one over here to the south. We call it Con Patch. This whole place here, it's all the same. And then all the way that way, all the way to those trees over there, and then all the way around over there is all just like this. So just absolutely beautiful pasture. All right, now you can see here's some shorter stuff. This is about as tall as my grass is now, and it hasn't been touched since last year. They've eaten that down to that level. So you can see they don't like these seed heads once it starts to flower out. That's why I was mowing them. And I'm not quite done, but it's been raining, so it's too wet to get in there. I'll just make ruts. But all of this grass, even though it's kind of a little bit ahead of us yet, and starting to go to seed, we can get the cows on it. And there's so much more in here that even though that pasture that I was mowing looked really good, it's just nothing compared to this. So that's why I'm mowing the tops off all of that. So what we'll do is, here's a good example. My grass over there all kind of looks like this. It's all about this tall with seed heads that are up, you know, 2-3 feet tall. Except this is short because they've eaten it. Mine is short because it just needs some more time. So hopefully by knocking all the seed heads off of my pasture across the creek, we can make it look more like this pasture. Got them all kind of lined out here because we just fed them. But yeah, this is awesome. So they're only going to be in here for another 2, maybe 3 days. 219's calf. What a stud. Look at that dude. He is so cool. Look at him. Oh, I love him. Anyway, they're only going to be in here for 2, maybe 3 more days, and then we're going to move them. And the goal is to leave the forage, the actual leaves, right, the blades of grass, on average about 8 inches tall. And that's going to let it come back faster. You know, if you eat it all the way to the ground, then it takes longer to recover. And that's kind of a mistake that I've made in the past across the creek and on my side of the creek, is not let it rest enough. So more frequent moves, shorter moves, let the grass rest. You just got to have the land to do it. But which is why this is cool, to be able to get in here. You know, these guys, cockaburs, I just pull them when I see them. Habit I've gotten into. Anyway, then you can see there's patches like this where they haven't eaten any of this yet, and that's why they're going to stay in here. And check it out, hidden white clover in there. So that's nice. So yeah, clover, by the way, is full of protein. It's a really high quality forage. It makes fat cows, and we like fat cows. Sorry, buddy. So alrighty, we're just out here checking it out. My neighbor's out here too. She's feeding some steers that she's raising up to sell to people. Kind of trampled this area down. Looks like they've been sleeping in here. But yeah, cool. This is all looking great. There, you can kind of see how tall that grass is. That cow's probably 4.5 feet tall to the top of her back. Look, I mean, she's swallowed up by that grass. So when we go to move them, that's the tricky part. We've got to get enough off of this that we can find all the calves and make sure we move them all and don't accidentally leave anybody. So that's a bit of a trick, but it is what it is. Here's 234 calf right there, also looking excellent. That's Mama right there. So anyway, he's a cool looking little bull calf at the moment. Tempting to leave some of the guys like him intact. He's pretty neat looking. But yeah, 245 right there looking at us. Look at this dude's head. It just looks like a little bull calf. Anyway, alrighty. So this is the pasture we're moving to. It all looks like this or better. There's some trees and some of it over here that have started to grow up because I don't have goats out here anymore. So that's why I've got to get goats on my place, because they just control those sort of weeds. But yeah, for the most part though, man, this grass is head and shoulders above what I got across the creek. So anyway, that's the goal though. And they did all of this. This was damn near just barren. It was just woods and weeds and looked terrible before they got here, and used a combination of cattle and goats and intensive grazing to fix it all. And now it's some of the most beautiful pasture I've ever seen here in Oklahoma. So this is my goal. Got to step my game up and get some sort of a thorn-eating animal. I don't think I want goats. I think I want hair sheep, but we'll see. Anyway, try to make my pasture look like this. So hey, thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.